My name's Dave Ragsdale, and it's been my pleasure to be part of the announcing team over the last 20 plus years in the New York City Triathlon. So, enough already about that. Let's get right down to it. First of all, to let you know, this year we are expecting a large number of athletes, almost 60% their first time here in New York City at the triathlon. Of them, 26% are first timers. So this is particularly important for you to pay attention to the details related to your event so that your day can be the best day that you plan for. We brought back the relay. So for you 2 and 3 person relay teams, make sure you review this briefing and prepare yourself for your part of the event. We'll be starting a duathlon. That'll be out on the highway at 7:45. And of course, we'll get everybody else underway in and out of transition. Biggest change this year, of course, is our fall date, that first Sunday in October. So expect cool conditions, expect cooler conditions in the Hudson, and you should be ready to go. Saturday, September 30th is going to be a very busy day. We're doing packet pickup, mandatory packet pickup from 10 to 5 up on Riverside Park on West 104th Street. All the athletes have to be there to pick up their own packet. One of the most important things you need to do to start this whole packet pickup is to get your USA Triathlon, the USAT waiver. It must be signed on site. Once you've signed that, take the waiver to the packet pickup tent. The number, it'll be arranged by race number, and then have your photo ID. That will continue the packet pickup process. Important item, of course, is the all-important official race wristband that we will give to each athlete participating. Very important, this wristband stays on your wrist throughout the weekend, gets you access to transition, access to certain activities in the finish line area in Central Park, and of course, getting back into transition at the end of the day on Sunday to reclaim all your gear. So remember, that official race wristband must stay on the entire weekend until you've exited transition with all your gear at the end of Sunday. And then take a look in your packet for your run bib number, your bike number, your helmet number, swim cap, and of course, we talked a little bit before about the wristband as well. Stop by and get your timing chip. That's all important to keep track of you throughout the day. And if you have an opportunity, I will be there along with another announcer going through course talks, probably about a 25-minute session. So if you really want to drill down and be as informed as possible, join us for one of those. And of course, visit our sponsors and vendors. Same day, just about 3 blocks south at 101st, bike check-in, mandatory bike check-in, taking place from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You need to check your bike in. Of course, put the number somewhere visible on your bike frame or behind your seat post, and make sure you show your wristband as you walk in there. That will allow you and our volunteers to help you position your bike at the appropriate location inside this very large transition area. We ask that you do rack the bike by its seat so that your front wheel is on the ground. And if you're standing by your front wheel, you can see your number right underneath your saddle. Final thing we do want to mention, over the years, the New York City Triathlon, based on our relationships not only with the NYPD, but our other local agencies, we're going to be taking care of some heightened security measures, which involve a clear plastic bag that you'll be collecting at packet pickup. So if you come to transition in the morning with a backpack with all your gear in it, helmet, what have you, you're going to empty that backpack into the very large clear plastic bag. You'll even put the backpack in the bag. And that will allow our security personnel to make sure that what you're bringing in is exactly what needs to be brought in. We're not scrutinizing over the amount of gear you're bringing in. We just want to make sure we've got a secure location. Be prepared for that. Take your earpods out so we can talk to you, and also know that a Camelback or a hydration type pack, those will be allowed on the course. Don't forget your timing chip. We prefer it around the left ankle, keeps it away from the chain ring. Race issued cap, number for the run. And remember, because of the cooler temperatures of the Hudson, we think probably high 60s or so, this will be a wetsuit legal race. So who doesn't want to wear a wetsuit in the opening section of a triathlon? Everybody does. So, and again, listen for race morning announcements. As in years past, our age groups and other competitive divisions will be enjoying what we're calling a time trial start. We will walk you from the seawall down the ramp onto the start barge, and we'll probably set up about 15 or so of you at a time. We'll have you sit down on the barge edge, feet first into the water, and that'll happen about every 20 seconds or so. So as you start to review any of the start timing schedule, remember that the hard starts for like our pros and maybe some of our special divisions, those are the only ones that have a real start time. The rest of them kind of just follow the order. So if things move a little quicker, the time that you think it is could actually be a little sooner. For all of our triathletes, remember that you'll be walking more than 1 mile down to our swim start staging area. So we encourage you to bring whatever hydration and nutrition you need to take care of through that time period and whatever time period elapses in advance of your start on the barge. So bring down a bottle. We'll have places where you can refill it. So don't worry about bringing a bunch of bottles, but bring a bottle that you can refill. That'll be up in the staging area, up on sort of the top of the swim area. And anything that's left over, whatever you didn't eat, whatever you didn't drink, can easily be put in the bag that you can then give to us in that same sort of upper level staging area, and we'll transport that back over to Central Park for you. So make sure hydration and nutrition in advance of our swim start. We're swimming north. There is no practice swim. There is a special needs table for those unique items you can't get out of the water and into transition without. So that'll be at the swim exit. We're going to sit and go feet first into the water. And again, it's a point-to-point course going from approximately 81st Street north to 99th Street. So you will be swimming with the current in varying degrees. If for any reason throughout the swim you're having any issues, raise your hands. If while you're sighting your way north, you see somebody who needs some assistance, point that out as well. Remember, we're in this together. So you get out of the water, you safely get up the ramp, onto the seawall, making your way for not quite, maybe 250-yard run into transition. If you want to bring an extra bottle to rinse off your feet, you can do that. I want to remind you, of course, to have your helmet number affixed to your helmet so we can take some great photos of you. Bring as much hydration as your bike will manage. You're out there for 40K, about 25 miles, and you are your own aid station. You're your own rolling aid station. So we won't have any aid stations because we haven't had for many years. And just familiarize yourself, as I said earlier, about the flow of traffic in transition. For our relay teams, again, a quick reminder, 2 or 3 people, 1,500 meter swim, 40K bike, 10K run. The swimmer is the only relay participant who needs to be at the swim start. Cyclists will remain in the relay pen in transition waiting for the swimmer, and the runner will be doing the same thing, waiting for the cyclist. You do need to be in transition. If you're the cyclist or the runner, you need to be in there before 7:20. It's kind of a lockdown situation, but if it's your safety, security, and you won't miss anything. The timing chip is your relay baton. Swimmer hands to biker, biker hands to runner. And all the same rules apply to you as do to in our international individual race. To our duathletes, again, you'll be waiting at your rack location in transition, waiting for the instructions from our race staff. Once they do, they will walk you out to the West Side Highway. Your start will be approximately 7:45 based on when we get all of our professional athletes into transition and out on the bike course. When you begin your 2-mile run, we'll start you in rolling waves, probably 2 to 3 athletes, about every 10 to 15 seconds for you to start that 2-mile opening run. And then, of course, you'll continue on with your 40K bike, just like everybody else, and the concluding 10K run. Well, now that we've got all of our triathletes out of the water and into transition and out on the bike course, we've got our duathletes. They've done that opening 2-mile section. We're out on the bike course, and boy, West Side Highway, across the bridge, up into the Bronx. I mean, where else can you do this stuff legally. Well, of course, the New York City Triathlon, you can do that all day long. So we do want to remind you, once you get to your bike location, get on all your bike gear, make sure your helmet's properly fastened, walk yourself to the mountain line, which you know exactly where it is. Remember, while you're in the park for about 4 blocks, those roadways in the park that will take you up to the West Side Highway, we're calling those a no passing zone because really only bad things can happen there. Nothing good happens there. The racing really takes place up on the highway. So make sure you take your time, be safe, get yourself up to the highway, and then you can put the hammer down. This year, we've eliminated a couple of sharp turns, so literally there's only 2 U-turns. One at the very north end of the course and one at the very south end of the course, and they will be very obviously marked. We do want to remind you that there are just 2 cutoffs on the course. We need you past that northernmost section up around Gun Hill Road, up by the Mosholu, up in the Bronx. Got to be there by 11:30 in order to continue on. The last bike needs to be completely off the West Side Highway by 12:45 into transition and then heading out on the run course. We will provide bike support by Specialized. They will have mechanical teams assisting you, mechanics inside transition. There will be a limited amount of capability out on the course. Let's face it, there are thousands of you. There are handfuls of them. The likelihood of them getting to you exactly when you need them to get there is rather small. So be prepared to fix your own flat, put your chain back on, help each other, do whatever you need to do. If for some reason your bike has a major mechanical and you cannot go on, we will have a final course sweep vehicle out there between 11 and 1 o'clock. So just relax, drink some of that hydration I told you to take with you, and just wait for somebody. And again, remember, 11:30 northernmost cutoff, to 12:45 back into transition. Couple things to remember out on the bike: ride to the right, pass to the left, get back to the right. No matter how good a cyclist you are, there's somebody behind you who's just a little bit better. Maintain 5 bike lengths at least. This is not a pack ride, so give everybody a fair chance. Once you're within that zone, you've got 25 seconds to get in front of them, so do the best you can. If you're past, drop back. Keep your helmet buckled whenever you're touching your bike. No headphones, no kind of device where you can hear anything. And please, whatever you take out with you, bring back with you. There is no littering. If for some reason you are guilty of a penalty, our officials will show you either a blue card or a yellow card. You must stop at the penalty tent, which would be at mile 1 on the run course. Yeah, bike penalty, you serve it on the run course. You'll be able to continue on from there. You're good to go. If you don't stop at the penalty tent, you risk being disqualified. Don't do that. Stop, serve your time, and move on. As we welcome back relays for the 2023 New York City Triathlon, a couple things to remember, relay team members. The swimmer and cyclist, once your runner is headed out of transition, headed towards Central Park, you have 2 choices. The first choice is to use the dedicated exit located on the east side of the relay pen to remove all of your gear and your bike from transition. You can then head over to the finish line to cheer on your runner. As long as you've got all your gear out at that time, there's no need to return for bike checkout. That's option 1. Option 2 is that you can leave your gear there and your bike in transition and just head to the finish line to cheer on your runner. You then can come back to transition, just like all of our individual athletes, and get there between bike checkout between 1 and 4 to retrieve all your gear and bike. So basically, you've got 2 choices. Take the choice that works best for you and your team. You'll be making your way south along Riverside Park. You're going to be going through a tunnel that will get you up towards 96th Street. That's a bit of a steep climb, so don't be surprised. That may be, for some of you, some of the toughest section of the run course. You'll run across 96th Street into Central Park on the West Side Drive there. We do like to remind any athletes that although your race is the most important thing going on Sunday, race day, the rest of Manhattan is enjoying a Sunday in Manhattan. They're out walking the kids, they're walking the dog, they're riding their bike, they're doing whatever they're doing. And so they may not have the same sort of thought to get out of your way that you would hope that they would. So just again, be a kind visitor in New York, be a good host in New York, say hello to everybody and enjoy yourself. We would call this course certainly rolling hills, and you'll make your way 10K right to Center Road. Run support, we've got plenty of aid stations. Of course, the warm conditions that you usually faced in the July New York City Triathlon, you won't see quite as warm this time of year, being in early October. You'll have a total of probably aid just about every single mile, so take advantage of it as you need to. Water, Gatorade Endurance, medical support if necessary. Restroom facilities, please use those. Energy gels will be available at Aid 1, so take advantage of that as fully as you can. As you make your way around the finish line, remember, you come around that final turn, you come in the stretch, you hear the sounds of the finish line. This is what it's all about. Take it in, enjoy it, high five, do whatever you need to do. Big smile at the finish line because you finished the 2023 New York City Triathlon. As we mentioned, a quarter of you might be finishing your first triathlon or duathlon ever. So really take in every single moment and enjoy what you've accomplished. Now you're on to our finish festival in the Naumburg Bandshell. It's open to the public. Athletes only go through the finish chute. They'll meet up with their family members and friends in the family reunion area. We'll have music by Take Two. There'll be grab-and-go post-race food items for all of you. Results will be available online through those great QR codes, whether used through a smartphone or maybe you could use one of our devices at the results tent. Remember, for relay members, swimmers and cyclists can pick up their finisher medals at the result tent as well. So the lucky runner will get their medal and the other two parties will collect it at the results tent. Age group awards will be available for pickup at the result tents, and we'll let you know when we're going to manage all the overall awards at the main stage. Now, while your race is over and while the celebration has certainly commenced, the work is not done. We still got to take care of getting you back over to transition for the bike checkout. That'll take place from about 1 o'clock till about 4 o'clock. Athletes only. Remember, you have to have your wristband, and it will be to get in there and remove the items. Now, remember we talked about the clear bag? All the items go back into the clear bag for you to exit out of transition. You must have the wristband. No wristband, no bike, no excuses, no exceptions. We will be running post-race shuttles from noon till 4 o'clock. They'll pick you up on Central Park West between 66th and 67th, and they'll drop you off around Riverside and 95th Street. So we do want to remind you again, any items brought into transition, we'd like you to remove them. If you have an opportunity to throw away some trash or garbage, that would be really awesome, and our staff would truly appreciate that as well. If you do have any questions, there's lots of information on the race website. Well, I want to thank you very much for taking a few minutes to join us. We want to wish you good luck, and we'll see you on race weekend in the Hudson.